The 19-year-old tennis prodigy, Learner Tien, just did something no one has done since Rafael Nadal, and the entire tennis world is watching. 19 years old. This isn't the age where you're supposed to dominate world tennis. But Learner Tien? He just rewrote the rulebook. Listen to this story, because it will change the way you look at the next generation of tennis. Australian Open 2024. Round 4. Learner Tien, a name that 99% of fans hadn't even heard of 6 months ago, is facing off against one of the most dangerous players in the world. And he won. Not just won. He became the youngest player to reach the Australian Open round of 16 since Rafael Nadal in 2005. To put that in perspective, that was nearly 20 years ago. 2 decades. And the only other name next to Learner in this stat? One of the greatest legends of all time. But here's the part people aren't telling you. This wasn't luck. This wasn't some random fluke win. This year, his first year playing full-time on the Pro Tour, Learner Tien has defeated not 1, not 2, but 4 top 10 players in the world. 4. At age 19. Let me be real with you. When I first saw these numbers, I had to double check. Because this isn't normal. Most 19-year-olds are struggling to win a single match at an ATP challenger. Learner? He's making tennis giants tremble. And here's what I want you to think about. Are we witnessing the birth of the next Rafael Nadal? Or is this just another hype train that will derail in a few years? Before you answer, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share, from that grueling marathon match at the Australian Open to his unique lefty strategy, from his special bond with Alex Michelsen to the crushing pressure of carrying the world's expectations at 19, will completely change how you see this young talent. And if you want to stay updated with deep dives like this into the tennis world, not just highlights, but the real story behind every player, don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Tennis 360 channel and turn on notifications. Because what's about to happen with Learner Tien? You won't want to miss it. The Learner Tien Blueprint. From homeschooled kid to tennis phenomenon. A journey no one expected. Alright, before we talk about the crazy wins, we need to understand who Learner Tien is. Because his path? It's completely different from what you'd expect. Learner Tien, 19, left-handed, from California. But here's the kicker. He didn't take the traditional route like most pros. Most kids dreaming of going pro attend prestigious tennis academies, play ITF juniors all over the world, and build their rankings from the U12 level. Learner? He was homeschooled. And here's why this matters. While his peers were struggling to balance school and tennis, Learner had a massive advantage. Time. He could practice 4 to 5 hours a day, uninterrupted by a traditional school schedule. No pressure to chase grades while chasing balls on the court. But it's not just about the hours. It's about focus. It's about intensity. When you're homeschooled, you don't just study tennis, you live tennis. Every morning you wake up, it's a decision that tennis is my #1 priority. Everything else comes second. And here's something no one tells you about this path. How lonely it can be. Most homeschooled athletes only have 1 or 2 friends. Learner got lucky. He had Alex Michelsen, another young player who was also homeschooled at the same academy. They practiced together, played video games together, and grew up together. Fast forward to 2024. Learner enters his first year competing full-time on the ATP Tour. His goal? Crack the top 100. This was already ambitious for a 19-year-old. Most pros take 2 to 3 years to achieve this. Learner did it in the first 2 months of the year. Not after a few years. Not after a challenging season. 2 months. He shattered his goal at a speed that even the most optimistic couldn't imagine. Australian Open, January. Learner enters as a qualifier. Not even in the direct main draw. Nobody knew his name. Nobody expected anything. And then he makes the round of 16, defeating players ranked way above him. Matching a record that hasn't been touched since Nadal, a name that sends shivers down the spine of every tennis fan. When that stat was announced, even Learner was shocked. He admitted in an interview, "I had no idea I was playing for something like that." But he did it. And now, the whole world is paying attention. The next goal? Top 50. And you know what? Looking at his trajectory, I wouldn't bet against him. The secret weapon, The lefty advantage. Why Learner Tien gives top 10 players headaches. The science behind the deadly lefty game. Let's talk about something most people overlook. Learner Tien is left-handed. And in tennis, this isn't just a minor detail. It's a weapon. Only about 10 to 11% of the world population is left-handed. In professional tennis, the number is even lower. That means when a right-handed player faces Learner, they are playing a completely different game than what they practice 90% of the time. Here's what makes this absolutely brutal. First, the spin patterns are completely reversed. When Learner hits a forehand slice, the ball spins in the opposite direction of what opponents are used to. Their bodies have been programmed to read right-handed spin for thousands of hours of practice. Suddenly, their muscle memory betrays them. The ball doesn't bounce as expected. Timing is off. Shots go out. Second, the serve angles. Learner's serve comes from an angle that most players only see once or twice a month. Deuce court, ad court, everything is flipped. A lefty's wide serve into the ad court, it pulls a right-handed opponent off the court in a way they hate most. And the body serve, it jams them up where they least expect it. Third, and this is something Learner himself confirmed, his patterns are naturally different. Your patterns are kind of the opposite of what they usually see, he explained. An inside-out forehand from the ad court? That's the bread and butter for most righties. But Learner's inside-out comes from the deuce court, targeting the right-hander's backhand, the weakest shot for most pros. Let me be honest, this advantage is so huge that many coaches advise parents to train their kids to play left-handed even if they are naturally right-handed. That's why you see Rafael Nadal, a natural righty, playing tennis left-handed. The tactical advantage is just that big. But for Learner, this is natural. He doesn't have to force it. His brain is hardwired to think in these patterns. Every shot, every angle, every spin, it's all second nature. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Learner knows how to maximize this advantage. He doesn't just play lefty and hope it works out. He actively uses it as a strategy. Watch his matches. You'll see him constantly pulling opponents wide with his serve, then attacking the open space with his forehand. You'll see him use the slice to drag opponents to the net, where the bounce patterns make them most uncomfortable. You'll see him set up points in a way that right-handed opponents can't predict with muscle memory. He admitted it himself. I think I'd be a lot worse if I was right-handed. And you know what? Looking at his results, 4 wins against top 10 players in his first year, I believe he's absolutely right. The pressure of expectation, the psychology of a 19-year-old genius. When the world calls you the next Nadal, inside the mind of Learner Tien. Now we need to talk about what no one wants to talk about. Pressure, expectations, the weight of the world on a 19-year-old's shoulders. Imagine this, you're 19. Most of your friends are worried about midterms, part-time jobs, or some crush at school. You've just been compared to Rafael Nadal, one of the top 3 greatest of all time, in every major sports publication in the world. How do you handle that? Learner's answer? If there is expectation on you, it's because you've earned it and you deserve the expectation and the pressure. Let's pause for a second here, because this isn't just PR talk. This is the mental framework of a champion. Most 19-year-old athletes would crumble under this pressure. They'd overthink. They'd try too hard. They'd choke in big moments. Learner? He reframes entirely. I try to enjoy it and it takes a lot of pressure off of me, he said. I don't feel nervous going out there. Think about that. He's playing against the top guys, people he used to watch on TV, and he's not nervous. Why? Because in his head, expectation isn't a burden. It's validation. It's proof that he's doing things right. But don't be mistaken, this doesn't mean he doesn't struggle. It's tougher to deal with than other times, he admitted. The highs and lows of professional tennis at this level, they're brutal. One day you beat a top 10 player and get praised on ESPN. The next day you lose first round at a challenger and social media turns on you. I think it's still pretty new, Learner said about managing his mental game. I haven't even finished my first full year. And that's what makes this so impressive. He doesn't pretend like he's figured it all out. He admits he's learning as he goes. But the key difference? He's learning while winning. Most players take years to learn these lessons. They learn through painful losses, through choking in big moments, through disappointing themselves and their coaches. Learner? He's absorbing these lessons while actually delivering results. For wins against top 10 players. Youngest to reach the round of 16 at the Australian Open since Nadal. Breaking the top 100 in 2 months. Close to the top 50 before his first year is even done. This isn't just talent. This is mental strength at a level that most 25-year-olds haven't reached. And here's what nobody talks about. Playing at this level means every single match is analyzed. Every forehand, every serve, every reaction after a point. Millions of people watching, judging, comparing. Coaches studying your game to find weaknesses. Opponents preparing specifically for you. It's kind of weird seeing some of these guys on the other side of the court when you're kind of used to watching them on TV, Learner admits. But weird doesn't mean intimidating. Not to him. Because while other 19-year-olds freeze when facing their heroes, Learner sees it differently. I just try and play well, and it's worked out so far. That confidence, not cocky, but calm, that is what separates champions from everyone else. The marathon match, the grueling Australian Open. 5 hours, 3 minutes, 42 seconds. Inside the longest match of Learner Tien's career. Let me tell you about the match. The match. Australian Open 2024, Round 4. The match where, by the end, Learner Tien didn't even know where he was standing. This was the longest match he's ever played. 5 hours, 3 minutes, 42 seconds. To understand what this number means, professional tennis players train their whole lives to build endurance. They run, they lift, they do cardio conditioning. And even with that level of conditioning, a 5-hour match is torture. Now, imagine you're 19. It's your first Grand Slam. You've just won 3 consecutive rounds. And suddenly you're in the round of 16, deeper than you've ever been. Facing a top player who isn't going to give you anything easy. First set, second set, third set, fourth set, each one a battle. And then the 5th set. Here's what Learner said about it. I was exhausted, honestly. But here's where it gets real. Set 5, Learner breaks to lead 3-1. This is the moment to close out the match, right? Seal the biggest win of your career? The opponent breaks right back, 3-2. And Learner's reaction? I honestly didn't really even care because I was so tired. I was like, I got a point on the board. At least I'm not down a break. Let's stop right here. Because what he just described, that's championship mentality under extreme physical duress. Most players in that situation would panic. They'd think, oh no, I had the break. I'm choking. This is falling apart. Learner, I was just trying to survive. No panic. No overthinking. Just survival mode. Pure tennis, instinct kicking in when the body is screaming to quit. I was like surprised that I was still on my feet, he recalled. Think about that. Your legs are cramping. Your lungs are burning. Every muscle in your body is demanding rest. And you have to somehow find the energy to keep playing championship-level tennis. Eventually, he won. And the moment it ended, confetti, the crowd roaring, the biggest win of his life. You'd think he'd be ecstatic, right? I had no idea what time it was, and suddenly I'm in an on-court interview, and I'm just getting asked questions, and my mind is in a million places. The interviewer asking him how it feels. Cameras in his face. Thousands in the stadium. Millions watching on TV. And Learner? It hadn't really even hit me yet. I was surprised that I was still on my feet. This is what people don't see on highlight reels. The commentators talking about incredible mental fortitude. But what does that actually look like? It looks like being so exhausted you don't even have the energy to celebrate. It looks like standing in front of microphones answering questions when your brain literally cannot form coherent thoughts. I have no idea what's happening, he said about that interview. But here's what makes this match so important. It's not just because he won. Plenty of players win long matches. What's special is how he processed it. Most 19-year-olds would either A, let it go to their head and become cocky, or B, be traumatized by how hard it was and fear future long matches. Learner? Neither. He sees it as data, as experience, I think especially for the next few years and later on in my career, I think it'll be really good for me, he reflects. Even in exhaustion, even in chaos, he's thinking ahead, learning, growing. That's not normal for 19. The Nadal comparison, hype or reality? All the stats you need to know. Learner Tien versus Rafael Nadal at age 19. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Is the Nadal comparison fair? Or is this just media hype? Because here's the thing. Every year there are dozens of teenage tennis phenoms labeled the next legend. Most flame out. By 23, they're struggling in challengers. By 25, they're retired. So is Learner different? Let's look at the data. Rafael Nadal at 19, 2005. Youngest to reach round of 16 at the Australian Open. Won first Grand Slam, French Open. Ended the year ranked number 2 in the world. 11 ATP titles. That's absolutely insane. Nadal at 19 wasn't just good. He was already one of the best players on the planet. Learner Tien at 19, 2024. Youngest to reach round of 16 at the Australian Open since Nadal. For wins against top 10 opponents in his first year. Broke top 100 in 2 months. On track to break top 50. Let me be real with you. Learner hasn't won a Grand Slam. He hasn't won 11 titles. He's not ranked number 2 in the world. But here's what nobody's talking about. Nadal at 19 had been on tour for 3 years already. Learner? This is year 1. The Australian Open record? Nadal achieved it in his 3rd year as a pro. Learner matched it in his first Grand Slam as a main draw player. The top 10 wins? Those usually come after years of experience. Learner collected 4 of them in his first 6 months on tour. So are they identical? No. Nadal's 2005 season was one of the greatest age, 19 seasons in tennis history. No one is claiming Learner has replicated that. But are there parallels? Absolutely. Both are left-handed. Both are insane competitors. Both possess mental strength beyond their years. Both use their different game style, Nadal's extreme topspin, Learner's lefty angles, to disrupt opponents' rhythm. And here's where it gets really interesting. Rafael Nadal himself has commented on young players recently, saying the next generation needs to bring something different, not just copy what we did. Learner's not trying to be Nadal 2.0. He's building his own game, his own identity. The comparison? It's a statistical fact, youngest since Nadal. But the journey? That's all Learner. My progression will look different than everyone else's, Learner says. I've always approached it as my journey. That mindset, acknowledging the comparison while refusing to be defined by it. That's maturity you don't usually see at 19. Will Learner win 22 Grand Slams like Nadal? Nobody knows. Honestly, probably not. Nadal is arguably top 3 greatest ever, and that's a nearly impossible bar. But can Learner become a Grand Slam champion? A perennial top 10 player? Someone who changes the game for the next generation? Based on what we've seen so far, I wouldn't bet against him. The future, top 50 Grand Slam. And then what? Goals, reality checks, and what could happen with Learner Tien. Okay, let's get real about the future. Where is Learner Tien actually headed? Short-term goal, top 50. Currently, he's close. Probably around the 60 to 70 range after his recent results. Is this realistic by the end of the year? Absolutely. At his current rate, barring injury, he should crack the top 50 within the next few months. That's not just a number. Top 50 means direct entry into all ATP 500s and Masters 1000s. Better seating at Grand Slams. More prize money, better sponsors, nicer hotels. Respect from other players. Medium-term goal, top 20. This is where it gets interesting. Top 20 is where the truly elite live. This is where you're expected to make Grand Slam quarterfinals, not just occasionally, but regularly. Can Learner get there? Based on what we've seen, 4 wins versus top 10 in his first year. Yes, he has the game. But making the top 20 isn't about one great year. It's about consistency. It's about staying healthy. It's about evolving your game when opponents start studying you. Right now, Learner has the advantage of being unknown. Opponents don't have years of tape on him. They haven't faced his lefty patterns dozens of times. But that changes fast in professional tennis. If Learner plateaus, stays around 40 to 60 for the next 2 years, that would be disappointing but not shocking. Plenty of teenage phenoms hit a wall when the tour adjusts to them. But if he keeps improving, if he adds weapons to his game while maintaining his mental edge, top 20 within 2 to 3 years is absolutely on the table. Long-term goal, Grand Slam champion. Every player's dream. The ultimate validation. Here's where we need to pump the brakes. Winning a Grand Slam is incredibly hard. Since 2004, only 8 different men have won Grand Slams. 8 in 20 years. Djokovic, Nadal, Federer dominated. Then Murray, Wawrinka, Del Potro, Cilic, Tien grabbed a few. Now Alcaraz and Sinner are emerging. The point, it's a tiny club. And getting in requires not just talent, but perfect timing, peak physical condition, mental fortitude in best of 5 over 2 weeks, and frankly, some luck. Will Learner win one? Nobody knows. But does he have the potential? Looking at his mental game, his physical tools, his trajectory. Yes, he's got a shot. The realistic forecast? If everything goes right, top 50 within months. Top 20 within 2 to 3 years. Grand Slam semifinals within 5 years. Potential champion somewhere in his career. That would be an incredible career. Hall of Fame trajectory. Generational talent. But here's what I think people miss about Learner. He's not in a hurry. I try to make things as simple as possible in my head, he says. I keep expectations on myself down. That patience, rare at 19, might be his biggest asset. Because tennis is a marathon, not a sprint. Players who peak at 20 often burn out by 24. Players who build slowly, they have long careers. And here's my prediction. 5 years from now, we'll be talking about Learner Tien as one of the top American players. Maybe top 15 in the world. Maybe a Grand Slam finalist. Will he be the next Nadal? Probably not. Nadal's one of the greatest ever. That's nearly impossible to replicate. But will he be a multi-time Grand Slam champion? A consistent top 10 player? Someone who changes how the next generation plays tennis? I think there's a very real chance of that. And honestly, based on everything we've seen, the mental strength, the physical tools, the left-handed advantage, the trajectory, I'm excited to watch him prove it. Watch out for Learner Tien. The next generation has arrived, and you are witnessing tennis history. So here's where we are. Learner Tien, 19 years old, first full year on tour. Already matching records set by Rafael Nadal. Already beating top 10 players. Already showing mental fortitude that most 25-year-olds don't have. Is he the next Nadal? Maybe not. Is he going to win 22 Grand Slams? Probably not. But is he the future of American tennis? Is he someone who could absolutely win Grand Slams, finish his career in the top 20, and inspire the next generation? Yeah, I think he is. And here's why his story matters to you. We're witnessing the beginning. Right now, this moment, you're watching history being written. In 5 years, when Learner's accepting a Grand Slam trophy or breaking the top 5, you'll remember that you were here when he was just a kid from California who nobody knew. Think about it. How many people can say they watched Nadal's breakthrough at the 2005 Australian Open Live? Or Federer's first Wimbledon? Or Djokovic's first major? Not many. Because most people only pay attention after someone is already famous. You're getting in early. You're seeing the raw talent before it's fully realized. The potential before it becomes reality. And that's special. So what should you do with this information? First, follow his career. Watch his matches. Pay attention when he's scheduled. Because trust me, in a few years, Learner Tien matches will be must-watch events. Get in the habit now. Second, understand what you're watching. It's not just tennis. It's mental warfare. It's strategy. It's a left-handed player using every angle to disrupt opponents who've trained their whole lives against righties. It's a 19-year-old figuring out how to handle pressure that would destroy most people. Third, appreciate the journey. Because this is rare. This is a generational talent finding his way. And no matter what happens, whether he becomes a champion or just a top 20 player, this moment, right now, is the most exciting part. The unknown, the potential, the what if. Final question for you. Do you think Learner Tien will win a Grand Slam within the next 5 years? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I genuinely want to know. Are you believers or skeptics? Do you think the Nadal comparison holds up, or is it too early to tell? And if you want to keep following Learner Tien's journey along with all the drama, deep analysis, and breaking news from the tennis world, don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Tennis 360 channel. We'll update you on his every move, analyze every important match, and take you inside the journey of the young talents changing the world of tennis. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because what's about to happen with the next generation of tennis, you won't want to miss a single second. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you're not just watching tennis, you're watching the future.